coming up July 10th to 26th. The Pan Am Games will be hitting Toronto. Don Shipley from the Pan Am Games on the phone line this afternoon. Don, tell us about the Pan Am Games.
Well, it's interesting to me because I was in Vancouver during the games and in London, and, there is a template I found for games, and there's a whole kind of process you go through from the honeymoon to when all the knives comes out, and then the civic spirit kicks in, and you're starting to feel that now in a big way in Toronto. It's taken a while for that kind of to prime the pump. We're only a couple days out for the opening ceremonies. You're seeing the signage on all around the city. CBC, the host sponsor, is kicking in with all the ads. The Pan Am theme, which we created, is by Serena Ryder, is now getting lots of airplay across the country. So you're just starting to feel that adrenaline build. I have to say it's been a slow fuse, but it's just starting to kick in now. As if it's harder, I think, in a larger city. It's harder to make that impact when there is so much noise, so much going on. And so you really have to bring your A game in order to kind of penetrate through all of that. And I think it's just starting to happen. There's been, all the noise about traffic and so on. But that's part of the process. And so I think what happens is when Canada wins its first gold, when we have those opening ceremonies, which are being produced by Cirque du Soleil, I think we'll be off and running. It is, by the way, the largest festival in the history of Canada. It's 35 days in duration. So it is the arts and cultural side, called Panamania, is really a large portion of the games. Clearly, it's a sporting event.
People aren't aware just how big the Pan Am Games are. I mean, this is a huge event, not only the games, but also Panamania. Now, you're in charge of the arts and culture program. Tell us a little bit more about Panamania.
Well, Panamania is it's the name that we created, kind of an umbrella title. We couldn't use Cultural Olympiad, but which says it very clearly what that is. So Panamania really kind of is the umbrella title that has many components to it. The first one is the main outdoor celebration sites, and there are three of those. One at the City Hall, which is Nathan Phillips Square, seats a capacity of about 15 to 20,000 people. Then Pan Am Park, which is down at the National Exhibition Grounds. That's another celebration site. And then there's one at the distillery. So those are three outdoor celebration sites with probably in the neighborhood, I think there were 3,000 musicians, 300 groups from all over the Americas, Canada obviously included as part of the Americas. So that's the live part of it. And all of that is free to the public. Everyone from Serena Ryder to Wycliffe Jean to Kaisa to Jan Arden to Trombone Shorty to Calais 13. So fabulous music from noon till midnight, and then fireworks.
Don Shipley from the Pan Am Games in Toronto, coming to Ontario July 10th. Don, are you pretty stoked for the games to start?
I am. It's been, it's a long journey. I've been at it for this side of 4 years, and I know it sounds like a long time. And normally you can turn a festival around on an annual basis, but there is so much. Most of our legacy, I think, has really been about collaboration, and really kind of we didn't have a lot of funding, so we were able to, or had to really, leverage with many different stakeholders in the community in the city. But they've all pulled together, and we've had this great kind of, and I think that is our legacy. We don't have a legacy of bricks and mortar like sports do. They leave behind these beautiful legacy buildings and sport complexes. Ours is really about the human condition, about people coming together in a large public engagement and celebration. And hopefully the legacy is seeing some of these incredibly life-lasting, memorable events.
The Pan Am Games are going to be huge, but another thing that's going to be big in Toronto during those games is the Aboriginal culture aspects of the games. Tell us about that.
I think, we've got great groups, of course, like Tribe Called Red and Derek Miller. And one of the commissions, too, is by a wonderful Aboriginal choreographer, artist called Santi Smith. And it's for her company called Kauai Dance. And that commission is really based on taking 5 sporting events from the Pan Am Games and creating pieces of contemporary choreography about those sporting events. and they'll all be done in 3 minutes, so you can put them all together, and it's a 15-minute piece. One of them, by the way, is lacrosse, which of course is not a Pan Am event, but we thought we had to put lacrosse in there as one of the events. So yes, we've got a very strong presence. We also have a very strong French-Canadian component as well. But and Serena Ryder is opening with Wycliffe John on our first day, which is July the 11th.